we have one lady there? Please go ahead.
Hello, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. I just like to, I mean, I have seen your film always, and I've seen all of your film, I think, almost, and I enjoyed them very much. And I just like to ask you about that Chini Kam film, which was very funny. And could you just tell us about any stories, any funny stories about that film while you are filming it?
Well, the film itself was funny. It dealt with an overaged man falling in love with a younger woman. That doesn't happen very often, at least not in my part of the world. And therefore, I think it went down quite well. And there was something similar which was made with Ram Gopal Varma called Nishab Did Not, which was heavily criticized. There is a huge fear from actors in India when they go out to portray a role. And I think that even though as an actor I would not like to contribute to that feeling, I feel that there is a sense of identification in their eyes as to how they want their leading man to be, to behave, to conduct himself, and to play particular kinds of roles. So if you are, in their eyes, a leading man who is morally correct, socially correct, then for him to be doing something which is even remotely not in line with the morals or the socials of the country, then they reject you, irrespective of the fact that you may have given a very brilliant performance. That is one of the things that all of us have to face. So we have to be very cautious as to the kind of roles we accept, what we're going to be saying, what we're going to be doing. Many of us have taken, I, for example, I've never kissed on screen. There have been two very short instances in my films, but they cannot be related to a passionate kiss or something that is coming out of an amorous attraction. It was part of the script and very beautifully put. But I don't do that. I just feel uncomfortable doing that in public, and therefore I won't do that. There are many in our industry now, and kissing is quite normal now in our films, which wasn't for many, many years. These are some of the things that actors do in our country. Get involved in causes which are, helpful to society, and then go out and do something which is against it, doesn't go very well. Because the image that they have constructed in their minds about their person that they're going to idolize is, for some peculiar reason, spills over into real life, which is very dangerous for an actor. But these are some of the constrictions that we have. So Chini Kam was intelligently made. Nishab was not.
You heard it here. Are we done? Any more questions from the floor? Gentleman here needs a microphone. Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Bachchan sir. First of all, it's nice to say that my best film we ever made was Satta Satta, and I'm the biggest fan of that movie. My question to you is, all your wisdom and all your years now working in the industry, how do you get so much out in a day? We all have the same 24 hours a day. How do you manage to pack it all in, and what can we learn from that?
I don't have anything special. I just keep going, I guess. There are many facilities now, you carry your mobile, you can work through it. You travel in a car, you can still be working, doing correspondence, doing all your telephone conversations. 24 hours is a very long time. You can pack in a lot. I just feel that if you committed to something, you will get the time to do it. And before you commit, I think that's really the point when you should be questioning yourself, whether I will be able to accommodate it during the course of the day or not. But once you make a commitment, then I guess that you will find the time if you are committed to it.
Hello. Do you have any
Don't you want to ask any questions to this?
You absolutely don't need to ask me any questions. We're here for Mr. Bachchan. I've not yet. No.
My
question is, do you have new movies coming out that you'll be starring in?
Yes, we've just finished two. One is called Arakshan, which is, as you know, the reservation policy, the educational reservation policy. And the other called Buddha, which is more commensurate with what I am right now. Buddha means an old man. And that's ready for release. Buddha is releasing on the 1st of July. And that's our home production, along with Viacom, Studio 18. And Arakshan is Prakash Jha's film. It has Saif Ali Khan, Deepika Padukone, Manoj Bachchan, brilliant actor, and Pratik. And that's on the educational system and the practice of reserved seats for backward classes and how they are looked after. It's a very interesting film. Yeah.
You're angry.
Look forward to them.
Yes.
You're angry again. You're actually.
I'm angry in both of them.
I think we'll make this our last question, if that's okay. We have one last question. No? Lady there. You asked one already. Second question. Just put third row, guys.
Hello again. We're all very excited about the prospect of vlogging. If there was one part of your life where you could have vlogged, blogged or twittered throughout your entire life history, whether it be personal or career-wise, what would that have been? When would that have been, and why?
It would have to be during the time when I was injured on set and I was in hospital. I wanted to reach out to as many people as I could because there were millions of people that were praying for me, and I had no means of how to convey my appreciation to them. Even now, when it's almost 28 to 30 years since the incident happened, there are places all over the world when I travel out where somebody will walk up and say, when you were down with this accident, we prayed for you. I would naturally, be thankful for that and grateful for that. But there are millions of others whom I would have never known, and I still don't. But had I had that facility then, I would have been able to express myself and give all these wonderful people who prayed for me an opportunity to at least accept my thanks. There were some very, very unique cases, as you know. There were old women who had never seen a film of mine. They were 80 years old, and who, on coming to know that I was critically ill, did a lot of penance. They said they would not sleep on the bed, they would sleep on the floor, they would skip eating a meal, all kinds of very, very fascinating tales. There was this gentleman who lived in Baroda, which is about 400 kilometers out of Mumbai. And he said that if I survived, he would run backwards from Baroda to Mumbai to meet me and take my blessings or whatever it is, and then run back. And when I came home, he actually did that, and I actually met him. He ran backwards for 480 kilometers, and just to meet me. And there were some fascinating tales. I was at the house soon after I was released from hospital, and the office came and said, there's a basket of samosas that have arrived, and the person who has brought them wants you to just touch them. So I said, why would he want to do that? He said, no, he wants to just touch them. So I went out, and there was a huge basket of almost, 100 samosas, and I touched them. And I said, call this guy, why does he want me to do this? So he said, no, this is just a symbolic gesture. I'd like you to come outside. So he took me out, and there was a huge truck full of baskets containing thousands of samosas. I said, what are you doing? I'm going to distribute them out to the poor. I said, why are you doing that? He said, sir, I do this because I run a stall in the Metro Cinema for samosas. And every time your film was released, I used to hike my price at the cinemas. And today I am what I am because of these hiked prices. And therefore I want to share my profitability with the poor. And that's why I've come to give up.
So what about
There's
when
some
you got
amazing
married?
stories, yeah.
What about when you got married? You obviously broke a lot of hearts then. What would you have shared to all the ladies crying over you then?
None of them cried, and nobody had any kind of heartbreak.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid we have a full day ahead of us. We want to thank you very, very much for coming today. We also want to thank very much the dapper Mr. Lamb, and exceptional thanks to Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. Thank you.